Yo, how y'all doing? Um, this topic today is very close to my heart as I'm always trying to improve and I'm always trying to better myself. So, as you guessed, the video is about self-improvement. More specifically, the 3 tenets of self-improvement. Tenets being just the most important foundational pieces. Now, I'll let you know what they are. Diet, exercise, and mindfulness. Now, you can absolutely make progress in your life and, in your self-improvement journey without focusing on these 3. But I see it as these 3 are the foundational pieces by which you can grow the rest, like a building, You can't have a solid building without a good foundation. The foundation has to be there for the rest of the building to be, so it won't fall down, pretty much simple as that, bro. So mindfulness is the state of awareness slash giving special attention to one's own feelings, to one's own actions, and to one's own inner workings. The definition breaks down into 2 main words: awareness and acceptance. Now, on the awareness side of things, you need to be aware of how your mind works in order to improve. Because if you don't have that knowing of who you are and what motivates you and what drives you, then you won't know where you're going. There's no way to know where you're going without knowing who you are. And the awareness of the internal workings of your mind also allows you to get rid of fears and anxieties. I would say that's the major point of mindfulness. It gets rid of fears and anxieties, because fear and anxiety is usually born of either you're looking in the past and you're starting to be like, oh my God, like, look what I did in the past, blah 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 blah. You start to get all clouded, and a lot of anxiety actually comes from the future, because it's the anticipation of something going bad in the future. But with mindfulness specifically, you are put into a state of the present. Well, you were put into the present state, the state of the present, but you were put into the present moment, and then you are only focusing on the present moment. That's what mindfulness is, because if you are mindful of what's going on around you and what's going on in yourself, there's really no thought of the future or the past, because you have to be aware of what's going on around you. And in doing on focusing on yourself and focusing on what's around you, you start to realize that you can only control a certain amount of things. Like, a lot of your anxieties will come from the anticipation that something bad will happen in the future, but you can't control that. You just can't. All you can control is what happens right now and what you do right now. That's all you can control. Another part of mindfulness that is a very important part is observing. This is like a little bridge between the awareness and the acceptance. It's the observation. That observation is very crucial, because I like to think of our brains as categorizing machines. Our brains tend to label things in order for us to get a better understanding of the world around us. Like, I see a giant hunk of wood right there that has leaves and stuff. I call that a tree. I look behind me and I see that white thing back there. I call that a whiteboard. I categorize these things so I can get a better understanding of the world, and so I can communicate effectively with other people if I need to tell them about something. I'm not going to tell them white material with black paint on it or whatnot. I'm just going to tell them whiteboard, So since our brains like to categorize things, we have to have conscious control over that. We have to just observe, because we have a tendency to go either positive or negative, and a lot of the times people go negative. So, a lot of judgments will happen because people simply want to keep it at that. They don't want to, or they don't have that mindfulness background where they can just observe. Like here, for example, let's say you see someone in the streets, or you're going to a grocery store and you see someone in the grocery store with just all pajamas on, pajamas and like a dingy shirt. Now your brain might think like, oh, they're tacky, they're nasty, or they're this, they're that, they're trashy or whatnot. But because you've judged, you may not take into consideration that they might have just got into a house fire and all their clothes are done. So this is the only clothes they can wear. So right now they're trying to, stock up on food before they go buy some clothes, Because we judge, our brains won't allow us to even take that into consideration. But when you are mindful, you just observe. That is just a person with pajamas, You don't put on to them that they are tacky or trashy or whatnot, or you don't put on to them on the other side, like, oh, they're carefree, wild spirit. You just observe. Person with pajamas, guy with a hoodie, like, simple as that. That's really what that is about. So when you're mindful, you don't judge things anymore. You're able to look at things more objectively. And once you're looking at things more objectively, you can improve upon that because you're not clouded by the judgment of, oh, what if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? Or, oh, what if blah, blah, blah. Like, there's a lot of what ifs that come into your mind when you're not looking at things from an objective point of view. So once you eliminate the judgments, smooth sailing. Your self-improvement journey will increase by tenfold because you can look at things objectively. You can see your weaknesses and you can see your strengths rather than deluding yourself thinking you are this and that, thinking you're like, I don't know. Let's say you think you're like super charismatic and like that, you can do no wrong as well. With some mindfulness, you might see, oh, maybe I'm not as charismatic as I thought. Maybe I'm not as smart as I thought. Maybe blah, 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 blah. Mindfulness brings you down to a good level where you can truly understand yourself and then move forward. Now, the acceptance side comes from the observation rather than judging, because once you can observe things, you are accepting reality. You are not forcing your own reality onto the reality at large. You are accepting what is. You observe your inner self, you see the characteristics of the self, and you accept them. You don't delude yourself into thinking this. You don't delude yourself into thinking that. You accept what is, and then you can move forward. Before you can move forward, you must accept. You can't move forward on delusions. It's just not how the world works. On to diet. Diet is super important. Super important. Your diet says a lot about yourself. Like, if you are fat, that may mean that you have problems with emotional control / regulation, or you really like short-term pleasures. I think that's pretty straightforward. If you have problems with control and regulation, getting on a good diet can actually assist you in controlling yourself better, because it's super easy to just eat so much garbage. It's super easy to eat all the trash, all the sugar, all the fat, just basically the stuff that isn't good for you. It's super easy to do all that, and we're rewarded by just getting a flush of dopamine. But if you want to improve yourself, you have to realize that short-term pleasures really are just that, short-term pleasures. You're gonna have to pay for it on the back end. It's like it's the inverse of doing something hard in the short term to get your benefits in the long term. Because, with sugar, or let's say with alcohol, you drink it now or you eat it now and you feel good in the moment. You're like, But then tomorrow you may feel like shit. Or you get fat, so then you get to your like 30s, 40s, and then it is super hard to lose that weight. And it's still possible, but it's hard to lose that weight. Or you've eaten sugar so long that you develop diabetes, or in your later life you just start to see that you have heart problems. That all comes from the trade-off. You took the trade-off of enjoying yourself or enjoying this in the short term, but this is still to come in the end. I think it's one of the laws of physics. I'm pretty sure for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. Same with this. For everything you put in your mouth, there is an equal and opposite reaction. There is the short term, and then there is the long term effect. Now, another part of diet that makes it really important for self-improvement is nutrients. It's super easy to get the really high calorie, sugary foods, and they're cheap too, which is a crime, low key. But it's super easy to go for those. But then the more expensive food is the healthier food. But the cheaper food is so it has no nutrients. It's empty calories pretty much. Like, it's not gonna help you. You're just gonna feel like shit after eating it, and you're really gonna hate yourself. Like, you're really gonna start hating yourself after eating a whole bunch of shit for years on end, even for days on end. Even for like, you just eat like one cheat meal, you might feel like shit afterwards, because like that shit isn't good for you. But anyways, when you eat these nutrientless foods, you're not giving yourself what your body needs. So you start to develop things like anxiety, depression, brain fog. And those are just like the physical symptoms. I'm not talking about like your disease risk. I'm not talking about the diseases you can develop. I'm not talking about the fat that you put on. I'm just talking, you get anxiety, depression, and brain fog, and those cut you off from the self-improvement journey, because those are hindrances. Those are like you're riding a bike, someone throws a stick at the wheel, it gets stuck, boom, you go over. Like, that's basically what these foods are, for lack of a better word. And because they're so nutrientless, nutrientless, whatever, you're not feeding the second brain. Now, there have been many studies on the gut microbiome in recent times to see the link between mental health and your gut microbiome, and it's a lot of the research is starting to point that your gut is actually your second brain. Because, all right, so talk about serotonin specifically. Serotonin is known as a mood regulator, a cognition regulator. It is known for what else is it known for? It is known to control your appetite. I'm pretty sure it is known for a couple things, but it's also the highest concentration of that is in the gut. So when you're eating very sugary foods and very just foods that aren't good for you and foods that don't have all these nutrients, you're not feeding the system in the way it's supposed to be fed. Because if you're eating organic meats, if you're eating good vegetables, then the body is able to be in a state of homeostasis and actually produce more serotonin, and the serotonin receptors won't be all fucked up from just all the garbage that's there. So getting on a diet is great for your mental health. We all know that serotonin is really good for your brain, as in it's one of the main neurotransmitters that's associated with your mood. So eat well, feel well. Boom, copyright that, bitch. Another thing that is really important about diet is body issues. Now, in specifically the self-improvement journey, your body Actually, not even just your self-improvement journey, just in general. Your body is super important. You know the whole term of look good, feel good. Yeah, that plays a big role because you know, there is the whole fat acceptance movement, which that's a different topic, but that's a cope. It's coping, because if these people were fit and healthy, there would not be a fit acceptance movement, if you know what I'm saying. Because they are fat and they aren't making the choice to change their body, then they're coping by making everybody accept that they are fat and not make fun of them. Take that how you will. I don't think that's good. I think the fat acceptance movement is really bad. But anyways, so with a diet, you actually can control how your body looks. You can control the amount of body fat that's on you, and you start to look better because you can control that, you know? Some people need to gain weight, some people need to lose weight. The people who need to gain weight, you can get your diet on point and eat more healthy foods, more nutrient dense foods, more high calorie healthy foods, and gain that weight and start to feel better about yourself. You won't start to feel like, oh, I'm a stick, oh, they're always telling me to eat a burger, blah blah blah. Like, you won't feel like that. And then on the opposite end, if you're fat, you eat less, you start to look better. You start to notice people treat you differently because you are not a fat slob anymore. And obviously we should have respect for everyone. We should, 100%. I have respect for everyone. But not everybody is like me. A lot of people see a fat person and immediately start thinking some jokes. That's just what it is. So when you get your diet on point, you can get your body to a point where you actually love your body, and then you're not focused on that. So you can actually just improve the rest of yourself rather than focusing on something so in your face. You know, you see your body every day. So once you get that on point, boom, you can go on to like the rest of your self-improvement journey. And the last point, I would say the least important of the three, but still a foundational piece, is exercise. We are animals. Like, simple as that. We are animals. We are designed to run around, go get food. We're designed to hop over stuff. We're designed to climb trees. We're designed for all of that. But in the modern world, we don't really have the need nor opportunity to do all that, because we have developed a civilized society where the most exercise we have to do really is just fucking walk to the car and then drive and then walk to your job from the parking lot, maybe go up some stairs, you know? Like, that's really it for most people. I mean, there's a bunch of people who like make sure that they take 10,000 steps a day, which great, like honestly fucking great. But the vast majority of people don't. So because our bodies are designed to be such like strong animals, and they're designed to be like very survivable, adaptable, they're designed to just be strong. Since modern society has us how we are, we've become weak. We've become really weak. And I think the physical weakness that we have transfers over to mental, because, you know, there's been research on it, but like we know that like mental pain or like mental problem, like if you have anxieties and stuff, that manifests itself in the body. Either you'll be like very tense, you know, the shoulders up, or like you could even get diseases because your mind is so erratic that your body is just not in a good state to like, you know, upkeep. So that's why I believe that if we have weak bodies, then we will have weak minds. Now, in exercising, you know, at least a couple times a week, I'm saying at least 3 times a week, we can develop strength. You know, we can develop strength, we can develop fitness, or we can just develop our body, like just like look better. Now with the strength, I think in your pursuit of strength training, in your pursuit of like just fitness, in your pursuit of bodybuilding, strength comes with all of them. And not just physical strength, mental strength as well, because you need to actually get under the bar and squat it, or you need to actually put the weights up. You know, you need to actually do all that, which takes strength, and it takes mental strength to get your ass to the gym when you really don't want to. Like, there's a compound effect that occurs, because once you start to go to the gym, you become more disciplined, and discipline is super important. So you go to the gym, you become more disciplined, and then it's easier on the days where you feel like shit to go to the gym, and then you feel better because you went to the gym that day, so you're riding that high. And then over time, that keeps going. Like, it keeps snowballing, compounding, whatever you want to call it. It just keeps going. It's like this loop. It's like this positive feedback loop, not a negative, positive feedback loop, where you just become more disciplined, you become mentally healthier, and you get this motivation and this discipline that can transfer over to other things. Like, if you consistently show up to the gym for months on end, it's gonna be easy for you to accomplish other goals / tasks, because you can point to the fact that you've been showing up to the gym every day, or every day on your set schedule. You know, like, let's say you want to draw every day, right? You want to make it a little goal to draw every day. The person who has been going to the gym, like, consistently, will have a better chance of drawing every day than the person who doesn't, because this person has built up the discipline of staying on the schedule. So that staying on schedule ability can transfer over to them wanting to, you know, make a little drawing every day and improve their skills. You know, it all transfers over. The last thing about exercise is, honestly, your health and mental health. Like, when you exercise, you release all these fucking endorphins, and you just feel good. Like, you feel amazing for so long. Like, it lasts the rest of the day, may even last into tomorrow. But when you get that consistent schedule, you just start to feel good all the time. Like, let's say you're anxious and whatnot, you start going to the gym for a couple. After a while, you're like, yo, where's all that anxiety going? Like, I just feel good. You know? So I've been on a consistent gym schedule, and I've just been feeling so fucking good recently. Like, I can't lie, you know? So fucking good. And one other thing is, you get to shape your body. Like, you get to truly give your body the shape that you want it to look like. Like, sometimes, you know, it's hard to exist. It's hard to exist when you see people, like, with six packs and big bulging muscles, and like, like, if you're a girl, you see all these other girls with like a fat ass and shit. Like, you're just like, damn, like, why can't I have that? But wait, you can. You just gotta exercise, you know? You go online and you search how to get a bigger butt, or you search how to get bigger muscles. Now, with the bigger butt, you just do some squats, you know? You do leg exercises, you do glute bridges, you know? You do all these things, and then you can improve your body, you know? You don't have to be stuck as, like, the skinny person. One thing with skinny people have, like, such a great advantage on getting great bodies, because they already have the framework there. They just have to add the muscle on top. Then they look fucking amazing. So you can build yourself a body, no problem. And once you build yourself a body, it goes back to the look good, feel good. Look good, feel good. And then when you feel good, you are way more likely to advance in life and to be in a better position than before, because you actually feel good and you can actually progress through things without having to be bogged down by anxiety or be bogged down by all this, you know? Like, oh, I feel like shit, oh la la la, oh la la, you know? You can carry on. That's the amazing part of fitness. Like, you can carry on because you look good, you feel good, and you can carry on. Now, to recap, the 3 tenets are mindfulness, diet, and exercise. Super important for your self-improvement journey. Just, in my opinion, these are the foundational ones. Like, honestly, mindfulness is the one that is at the very bottom that just everything else builds upon. And after that comes the exercise and diet, and then the rest. So if you've taken anything from this video, just be more mindful. Like, just be more mindful of things. And look, man, we'll all get there one day. You just gotta put in the work, put in the hours. Yeah, no, I hate that song. But yeah, just do these things, man, and your life will improve pretty much. Deuces.